Good morning, Ben. Episode number 39, MetaMentors. Practicing safe sex, always a good thing to do. In this case, we're talking about centralized exchanges. We're going to hit the top exchanges and dive into them a little bit on where the value is, where working class guys like us should use and what's safe and what's the fees, all those good things. We're going to cover Coinbase, crypto.com, Binance, Robinhood, CashApp, and VenMo. I'm excited to hear how those last two actually fit into it because I didn't even realize they had much to do with crypto. But anybody who's anybody knows crypto is where it's at. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
You feel me?
I got you. You're exactly right. They aren't the traditional crypto players, but they're trying to get their feet in there, and it's a good on-ramp for people who are used to traditional finance. So, yeah, we'll dig in a little bit.
Smart. Let's check out this little video I found. I think you're going to like it.
It's called a bicycle, but will anybody ride it?
The automobile is here, but horses are here to stay.
Elevator? What's wrong with using the stair?
A telephone? Who would actually use that?
People said it was not possible to fly through the air.
It's unclear if commercial air travel will ever take off.
Flying over the Atlantic. Impossible.
I give you a go to launch, Artemis 1.
We're on our way, Houston. Do we really need personal computers?
I mean, come on, who's going to carry a computer?
No
Never.
way.
No way.
Who would actually use that?
A so-called information superhighway.
Y2K
Let's shop online.
Credit cards on the
Yeah,
internet?
the web is full of scams.
Come on, electric vehicles will never happen.
It's just very inefficient.
Electric vehicles will never.
What a car!
Cryptocurrencies are not a stable store of value.
That just
Value.
don't work.
We got exchanges to cover here. So check out our timestamps. Subscribe if you like what we're doing here. We're probably going to get a little bit better each week, or at least that's the goal. But we're covering everything that has to do with Web3 and crypto. So leave us a comment. Please subscribe. Help us grow if you're interested in this stuff. And let's get right into the channel, I think, Ben. Let's go into the news for this week.
All right. Well, we've got a lot of good news to get this week started off. The best news is no matter how much money you lost in crypto in 2022, somebody else did worse. So we've got a list of the crypto's richest investors and how they did in 2022. Let me drop that down, get us out of there. And
I'm not sure Sam is really at zero. There's a lot of conspiracy going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, that's what he's got on paper, but the beauty of crypto is probably most of it's hidden, and somebody's selling all their Solana right now, so I think he might have a little bit of that left over also. But they've got CZ from Binance has lost $60.5 billion. It just goes through and it just shows you. This little graphic shows you how much everybody has lost. The Winklevoss twins, everybody. So if you
I'm sorry. Oh,
you're right.
Sorry, buddy. Yeah, have they really lost that money? I mean, did they really have it? That was at the the pinnacle of the market. Like they say, have you really lost money till you sell?
Right. Obviously, this is unrealized gains for some of them. For Sam, it might be real. But this is unrealized gains. So this is right at the beginning of the year when the market was super hot to the end of the year where we are in about as low as it's ever been in comparison to the all-time highs. So, yeah, these guys, it just shows that if you lost your $100 that you put in it last December, if you lost that on Luna or something like that, it's not as bad as it seems because everybody else has lost billions. So not that Brian Armstrong from Coinbase going from 6 billion to 1.5 billion probably puts him in a tight spot, just because all these guys, only Sam is probably legally in trouble, but I guarantee you he's not out of it. I guarantee you he's not out of Web3. All of these guys are just going to hang in there because, like Ryan said, it's not realized gains. This is just what their coins were worth. So if they had 1 million Ethereum coins, and it gave them however many $1 billion, they still have those coins. They're just worth way less. So they're not selling. Most of these guys are digging in and getting ready to go through 2023, which could be a rough down year, but expect most of these guys to return in 2024 when the market returns. So
yeah.
A lot of names on there you recognize. Michael Saylor, 1.6 billion. And see, I'm not sure, that must be personal wealth.
Yes.
I think they have more than that in micro strategies. So
yeah, I think you're right. That's exactly what I was thinking when I seen that also.
But I just thought that was a cool way to start it off. Like a lot of people lost a lot of money. So when you think that the $100 you got from grandma last Christmas that you put on the Coinbase is down to 35, you don't know real pain yet. So
yeah, I was talking to a fellow fireman yesterday who's lost tens of thousands of dollars, and
that's more than 100.
Slightly. And basically he was like, hey, my understanding is if I sell it now and take a loss, it could benefit me in taxes. And he said, then I can always come back next year and buy more. And I said, well, I don't know what to tell you about the market, but what I'm seeing, there's a lot of talk that it's gonna go down some more for a little while. You can't take it at, as a grain of salt, but it might be a good opportunity to take those losses and then jump back in a little bit down the road. But yeah, some of us have definitely taken larger hits than others for sure.
Yeah, and that's about not quite an advanced tax move, but I wouldn't worry about it unless you've lost tens of thousands. If you've lost that much, then there's definitely some tax loss harvesting that you can do. And in traditional markets like your 401k or the stock market, you can't sell it right now and then rebuy the same thing immediately after the first of the year.
Right.
That's called like a wash sale or something like that. But you can buy a similar, like if you sell Pepsi right now, take the loss and then buy Coke after the first of the year and kind of ride the sugary soda beverage back up. You can do that. But in crypto, there are no such regulations yet. So if you show right now, if your crypto's way down, but you made a bunch last year or you made a bunch at the first of the year, you can actually sell that, show that you've taken a loss, and that'll count against your taxes. So you won't have to pay as much in taxes. And because they haven't set rules and regulations for crypto investing yet, you can, if you wanted to, sell it now and then probably without much change in the price, buy it again after the first of the year and kind of reset your positions. So
yeah, I didn't lose tens of thousands, but I'm going to be, I'll be providing an update on what tax advantage I get for being hacked and stolen from. I'm not sure how that plays in, but it's a loss.
I bet. All right. Next up, decentralized social media. This is a token that I found. Well, one, it's a token. It's a whole process, but Coinbase, one of the exchanges we're going over today, has a DESO token, DESO, which stands for decentralized social. And they're trying to make decentralized Twitter, decentralized crowdfunding. They've got all these different things that they're working on, like basically decentralized YouTube, any social media app that they have right now that's centralized, that you can be blocked on, that you can be prevented from saying exactly what you think. This company is working to make the decentralized version of it.
Similar, sounds like similar to like a DAO, like an owner or a what's the tokens when you have ownership of the
governance tokens?
Governance,
yes. And the beauty of it is the ability to function without advertising, or if you want advertising, you'll be able to like turn it on rather than the ability to turn it off. Like on YouTube, you can pay to turn it off, but on the decentralized social, if you don't mind ads that are tailored to you, you can actually pay or get paid to turn them on, and then they'll pay to show you stuff that you might be that might be relevant to you. Also, when you're building a platform on crypto, you're giving the content creators the ability to be like, use microtransactions. So if you find a video, like on decentralized Facebook, you're just scrolling through and you find something like a recipe and you're like, oh, I'm cooking that this weekend. Boop, boop. And you just send them 2 cents or 3 cents worth of crypto, and it doesn't cost you $4 worth of gas fees to do it. So that's kind of what the DSO token and the application is trying to do, is make it to where you can instantly reward creators and content makers however much you want to. And that kind of takes the place of getting paid by advertisers. The thought of, hey, thanks for this free information. I appreciate it. 3 cents, or $1 worth, or 1 penny worth, or a fraction of a penny. And they're making it to where you're not getting eaten alive by huge gas fees. So that token is actually available right now on Coinbase, and apparently it has been for a while. I think right now it's around $6, and there was a spike last December, and I think it got up to over 400 just for a short spike. It was around 200, and then it shot up December of last year, and has since come down. So like everything else in the market, it's way, way down. So it might be something worth looking into, but DSO available on Coinbase. I thought the idea of it is cool right off of that. It might be something you just want to look into. We'll put the link in the description below.
Sorry, buddy.
That's
you got me so excited. I mean,
it is exciting. It is
the
exciting.
idea is the idea is awesome. Can they pull it off, man? That's a big undertaking. But if the token was doing that well, I would imagine they're well into it. So
there's definitely excitement around it, which when you're doing anything in social media, that's what you need. That's what you need, is people buying in and people using. So check it out, deso.com, DESO, and just kind of fiddle around. They got, like I said, they've got replicant social media apps of stuff that I've never even heard of. So, I mean, like everything from voice calls to Zoom chats to music streaming to, stuff that I never use. I don't know, maybe it's more business created or, more for the business world, but very interesting. And I thought that would be something that would be worth looking into investing in as well, especially since it's easily available on Coinbase. Usually that means it's been vetted quite a bit.
For sure.
So that's cool. And we've done a couple of Web3 chess projects, but this is the actual, I think they call it the ICF. The International Chess Federation. So they're going into Web3 with Avalanche, the network Avalanche, and not just putting a game of chess on the Web3 the way a lot of the projects. We've looked at some really cool NFT chess games, but this is actually basically the entire International Chess Federation, their scores, their meetings, their records, everything's going onto the blockchain, as well as games and open invites to tournaments and the ability to play other people. But like they're putting their whole everything on their computer, all their records, everything is going onto the Avalanche blockchain, which we don't need to say every week, but it's just one more major operation that's going on the blockchain that realizes how beneficial that is, and they're putting it on there. There's something about the way that they measure the time in chess game. Like there could be multiple tournaments going on around the world, and this person says, well, I beat this guy in this time, or I beat this guy in this time. And it's like, yeah, but that time already exists. Like you'll be able to actually timestamp and save on the blockchain. And so keeping super precise records. I just thought that was pretty cool. It's always good to see adoption of major organizations using blockchain, and the International Chess Federation is a big one.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we did the 5 ways to earn crypto for free in 2023. This kind of falls in that category, although it's not free. You have to buy the hardware, which is kind of expensive. What you're buying is a dash camera for your car. So this company, Hive Mapper, has got the world divided up in these little hexagons, looks like a honeycomb. And what they're doing is they're taking on Google Maps or any similar company. Google Maps, they've got a pretty good resolution of like all the streets. You've seen them. They drive those Google cars around, and they make a pretty elaborate 3D map of what's going on. Well, this company is, you can buy a 4K dash cam, and what it does is when you're driving on roads that haven't been mapped, in a week or in a month, it's recording it and it's connected to your phone, and it just updates it straight to the Hive Mapper servers. And so what it's doing is making a 4K decentralized map of all the roads. And so they're trying to get these out all across the world. The people who use it, put it up, hook it up, plugs into your cigarette lighter, connects wirelessly to your phone to upload stuff, and it records 4K video, and then it pays you in Honey. Honey is the name of the token. It's the crypto that powers the whole system. And so you drive around with Hive Mapper on, and it pays you in Honey tokens. And they've got it all set up. You can actually see the website here. They've got it all set up to where, if I drive, let's say in Wichita, if I drive down Kellogg and then Ryan drives down Kellogg immediately afterwards, Ryan's paid less because like I've got the novel route. And then the next person that drives makes a little bit less, but then it like clears it like maybe once a week. So you know how Google Maps, you go on there and you look at your house and you're like, oh, my house hasn't been that color in 2 years. Like it hasn't been updated and that. So they want to keep it way more up to date and way more accurate. And they'll pay more for the first person to kind of cut the route, so if there's a road that hasn't been done in a while, it would be beneficial to go find it and drive on it to give a new updated 4K version, which 4K is obviously way better resolution than what Google Maps uses. So there's just a ton of benefits that come with this. Let's see, use the map. Here we go. So one of the things they can do, and one of the things that they are hoping makes it better than Google, is better resolution, you get map imagery captured by front and side facing dash cams. So it doesn't have a giant 360 bulb on top where you can see everything yet, but they are working on a one you can put on top of your car. So there's a ton of cool things that you can do with these high definition cameras. They've got way better at reading road signs, so the computer can process that. So like it can find missing addresses on buildings. It makes it easier for deliveries. Like this one right here, it shows there's one address, but there's 12 different loading docks, to deliver. So you can't really tell that when you get onto just a typical map program, but using this type of map, you're going to be able to really hone in and see a 4K version. Like if you're delivering to this place, you can get on there and go, okay, which one of these stalls am I coming into? And you might not know if it just says 1236, Southampton Street, whether that's a big building or whether it's not. So this gives a much clearer idea of what you're going to. And so there's just a ton of benefits with something like this. Plus, because it's decentralized, instead of, Google follows you around all the time unless you turn it off on your phone. But this gives you the opportunity to make money while you're doing it. And now it's, what'd you say?
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say right now it's limited to like vehicles and on the road. That's what they're doing. But they've got plans for walking paths, bike paths, like national park trails and stuff like that, where you're going to be able to take some of these cameras and really map out the world. All of that obviously comes as the as the company grows and the map gets used and they're able to sell the information and get it in the hands of people and companies that would use it. So
yeah, what did you see? Have they put out what the technology, like what's it run to outfit your vehicle with it, and then do they pay you like by the mile that you record? Or
each little so let's see if it's got the map here. So each little chunk of the map that you get, it looks like 2 cents. You can see it down here.
What's a chunk of map?
Here's San Francisco, these little hexagon hives that I was talking about. So as you're driving down the road, that looks like, it looks pretty similar to the XYO. So maybe like 12 to 24, maybe 20, 20 feet by 20 feet. So every little hexagon you go. So
each of those pays 2 cents. Is that?
Map credit. I mean, that's what it says. Map credits are used to consume map data and it's fixed at 2 cents. And now maybe that's the inaugural, the first person to go down it, or maybe it's 2 cents total, and it gets divided up among the first 3 people that use it. But you can see this lighter color right here. That's one that's only been traveled like once. And then the darker it gets, that's the more frequently it's traveled. So the more that it's been mapped. So you can kind of see all these places that have been mapped in San Francisco, and you can definitely tell the more popular roads because, especially over here by the airport. So pretty interesting what they've got going on. They've only got, I think they just started shipping these out in November, and because of supply chain issues and stuff like that, they haven't shipped out as much as they have interest. So more people have pre-ordered these devices than have gotten them even still. They have 2 different pieces of hardware, one that's ready to go, and it's called the Hive Mapper Dash Cam. That's what this thing is right here. It's like the size of a deck of cards, but they've also got a new one already called the Hive Mapper S, which is a little bit smaller, but it's in pre-order. So you can order that right now, but it won't be in. It's supposed to ship in the early months of 2023. But if you order the Hive Mapper Dash Cam, the original, you should have it within a couple weeks. I don't know, pretty soon. I'll know because that's another thing that I plan on getting right at the first of the year. Yep.
Yeah, solid.
The only thing, it's $549 with $100 off if you order before, like mid-January. So it doubles. For me, it's cool because the original, you have to bring your own thumb drive if you want to take the video off of it for personal use, which is fine. The second one comes with it with a thumb drive built in, and so you can drive and then just pop it off and do it. But with my other project, the trivia, I record a lot of going through bridges, stuff like that. So it's actually recording 4K video that I'll be able to drive through downtown Dayton and Indianapolis and Cincinnati, and then pop that out, stick it on, pull the video off of it for my own personal use. Plus you can use it like a normal dash cam. If there were an incident, a wreck or something, you could use it to prove that you were not at fault. So it's a dash cam, and
or in your case, are at fault.
Yeah. I would rip it off and hide it and say, I don't have a dash cam if I was the one that rear-ended somebody. But so it's pretty cool. I've been looking at dash cams, and they're, a good one's about $200 to $300. So this one's a couple $100 more than that, but has the ability to start mining crypto right off the bat. The only downside, I haven't quite verified, but it says drive during the day so we get a better view. I don't know if you get any credit for driving at night, which is when most of my Uber is, but I'll start driving a little bit more during the day. Plus, so this mapping network, I checked Dayton, and there are no contributors in Dayton. So I'll be able to cut all the paths in Dayton. There is in Cincinnati, which is right beneath us. But I thought that was pretty cool. So
does it recognize if you visited South Broadway many times more than anywhere else.
They're like, hey, what's over here? There's no businesses, just a
He
long
just keeps
stretch
going in
of
circles over here.
Yeah, he stops and then he pulls into this alley and then he goes on again. I don't know what's happening. So
What's he doing? He must be collecting that honey.
it is because yeah, honey is the token that we're using. Now you've thrown me off. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So speaking of collecting your data, it is collecting data. That's the exchange for making crypto, but it doesn't record audio. It does not have a rear facing camera like some dash cams do. So it doesn't record anything in the car. All it records and all it sends to HiveMapper is relevant map data. So if you were in a wreck, it doesn't send them that information and say, hey, this guy's not safe. Don't let him drive anymore. It doesn't do anything like that. It only collects relevant map data. And in exchange for that, it pays you.
And I'm assuming it uses your cellular data. So if you're not unlimited, you might be careful there.
Yeah, I'm not sure on that. That's
or maybe
the way
you can set it to upload when you get back to like Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I wonder. Like I said, I will be getting this right after the first of the year, so I'll be able to report back. Maybe I'll do a whole episode on it or do a whole thing on it.
Yeah.
But like the Coin app, the one that mines XYO, it does use your cell, but it kind of runs in the background and it's hardly noticeable. I use it all the time, and it doesn't use very much gigabytes of data over the course of a month, and that's with it on, hundreds of hours, I would guess, by the end of the month. So I never get blown away on my data. So pretty neat. That's a project that I'll be looking into. All right. So that's your weekend news. Besides finding out how many billions of dollars have been lost in crypto in 2022, there's actually quite a bit of positive news, more building, more programs, more applications being built, more organizations coming on to the blockchain. There's really, the more you learn, the more you know about Web3 and blockchain, the less you should worry about the temporary price of some of the coins, because everybody is getting on the blockchain. Everybody has got a project going. Some of these projects will come and go, but if you're looking at what's actually happening, this, like the video Ryan showed at the beginning, this is the internet. This is telephones. This is technology. It is what is happening next. Not everything's going to survive on there, but the technology is undeniable, and they just keep putting more stuff on there. So find some projects, especially Ryan and I love to talk about the picks and axes. Find some of the projects that are at the base that are going to be around some of this stuff. I believe, actually, I know for a fact, HiveMapper is on the Solana network. That's what uses. So if you think, well, HiveMapper's pretty good, but what if somebody comes out with a better camera or blah, blah, you can just invest in Solana, because HiveMapper is building their whole system on the Solana network. So stuff like that, you can kind of dig down. You don't have to go to the outstretched arm and say, maybe this game or maybe this project will be the one in a million. You can come down and go, well, it's using Solana, and so is this other arm, and so is this project, and so is this. And maybe go, you know what, I'm just going to make a little nice investment in Solana, since they have their hand in so many projects. And if any of those projects do good, Solana will do good. So that's really, you need to try to find the 1 out of 100 shot instead of the 1 out of a million. Now I'm going to do the 1 out of a million too, but there are safer ways to invest. And like I said, if you find a dozen projects that are running on Solana, maybe you go, well, I'll throw some money in Solana. Same with projects like Polygon, Avalanche, which is getting the International Chess Federation. There's a lot of ways you can look at some of this news, and rather than investing in the high, super risky asset, go down to which Web3 project is it using at its core, and why is it using that? And if a ton of people start using Avalanche, or I mean, obviously a ton of people already use Ethereum. So there are ways you can kind of look at this information, process it, and go, perfect. Another reason I'm just going to go buy a little bit more Ethereum or a little bit more Polygon and keep adding to the bag. So it's very exciting times.
Yeah, it is. All right, Ben. Now let's get into the exchanges. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, we're going to cover Coinbase, Crypto.com, Coinbase Pro, also Crypto.com, Binance, Robinhood, CashApp, and VenMo. Those last couple, I'm very interested to hear how they've gotten involved in crypto because they're kind of synonymous with just regular currencies. But let's jump right into Coinbase and Coinbase Pro. What you need to know about these are US, it's a US owned company. They're separate entities, same company, started in 2012, basically under a different name, but it's pretty simple. Coinbase and Coinbase Pro are both really good centralized exchanges for beginners, especially like myself. I have a Coinbase Pro account, and it doesn't get any simpler than Coinbase and Coinbase Pro. The way that I look at these two is if you're at a point right now where you're just buying crypto and holding it, not looking to trade it, not looking to get into graphs and all that extra stuff, Coinbase is a good way to go. If you're going to be a little more active, you're probably buying and holding, maybe you're going to do a little bit more trading, then you want to go Coinbase Pro. It's cheaper on fees. There's better tools, that type of stuff. You use the same password for both applications. It's just a little bit different on how they're set up. So let me show you kind of a quick picture of the two of them. So this would be like your regular Coinbase. So real basic, not a whole lot to it. You can click on the cryptos down here. It'll take you into some of the graphs, but it's really pretty user friendly. If you go with like Coinbase Pro, you're getting more into some advanced graphs. You've got the trading, the order books here that are going on. You can just get more detailed about it. I'm a beginner in this. I didn't do any trading with the regular markets, and then I got into crypto. I had a friend that advised I start with Crypto Pro, and it's very manageable. It's a little bit overwhelming at first, but once you understand what's going on with these, it's pretty simple. And then you can get almost too crazy with it. But so as a beginner, if you're a beginner, Coinbase and Coinbase Pro are a really good way to go. US company, the security is as good as it gets, basically, for centralized exchanges right now. You actually even have FDIC insurance for any fiat currency that you hold. So if you have dollars in the account and you haven't bought crypto yet, you're actually covered by FDIC up to the normal 250,000. So that's a nice benefit. You can purchase with your debit card and credit card. That's another very convenient way that is not always possible with some of these other exchanges. It gets a little more detailed there, but this is Investopedia. So it's pretty handy because it'll go in here and it kind of breaks down the differences between Coinbase and Coinbase Pro. Here's where it's talking about the fees a little bit here. The number of currencies on Coinbase is 107. On Pro is 250. The security features are basically the same, top notch. It's in the US, so it's regulated by US laws. A downside to these exchanges is they're also very much tied to the US government. Like they share information and stuff like that. And they've caught a bad rap for that because the whole idea with crypto is to be decentralized, be exclusive. You're not so much with Coinbase and Coinbase Pro. So you're basically trading that for this extra security. Goes into some of the pros and cons of Coinbase and then Coinbase here, or Coinbase Pro, like we talked about. You can go on here and check these out. And then it just goes down and it starts really breaking it down even more on this Investopedia. They do offer a digital wallet that's really pretty handy. It's a hot wallet, which we've covered in previous episodes. So you really, really want to look into a cold wallet also. But a hot wallet gets your crypto off the exchange, which is exceedingly important right now with all the craziness that's going on. So unless you're an avid trader, you want to get your currency into an actual hot wallet, or even better, a cold wallet. Anyways, I'm not going to go into great detail here, but what you need to know about Coinbase and Coinbase Pro is they're ultra secure as far as exchanges go. They're US based. You've got a couple options. If you're just looking to get in and start buying crypto and just hodling it, like they say, holding on for dear life, Coinbase is a good way to go. It's expensive, but it's super simple. If you're looking to be a little bit more advanced, have some access to some additional currencies, some altcoins, stuff like that, and maybe you're thinking you might do a little bit of trading, then Coinbase Pro is a good way to go. Let me say one more thing here too. We won't get too in depth of it, but you've got different types of ways to purchase crypto, limit orders. You've got maker and taker fees. There's some of this other stuff that is all was all new to me, 6, 9 months ago, 12 months ago, that I'm learning about. If you kind of, like I was saying, if you're just looking to buy coins, tokens, you can do it. You pay whatever the going rate is on Coinbase. If you'd rather go in there and say Bitcoin's at 17,000, but you don't want to buy it till it hits 16.5 if it gets there, then you want to do Coinbase Pro, because you can set that limit in there so that when it does drop down to it, you get it.
That's what I was going to say. Is Coinbase is very simple. It's very basic. If you want to, put in $25 a week into Bitcoin, Coinbase makes it very easy to do that. But if you want to start setting exact prices, buying and selling, if it goes up and down overnight and it's like you don't want to be awake to do it, you can actually set these orders, limit orders, buy orders, sell orders. All of that stuff's in Coinbase Pro. You don't have that ability in Coinbase. So Coinbase Pro is when you learn Coinbase and you want to get a little bit more advanced. Coinbase Pro is the program you want to look into. And like you were saying earlier, both of those fall under the Coinbase, which is based in America, which means it's also a publicly traded company. So they have to expose their financials every quarter. So they have to do an audit basically and show how much coins they have, how much money they have, there's no hiding. There's no ability to do what the FTX worldwide did. The reason FTX.US did not crash immediately was because they were also a publicly traded American company. So they had to have all of the same financials that every other company like Pepsi and Coke. You can't just hide your financial stuff when you have investors and when you have shareholders. So by Coinbase having to show this, it makes it way more centralized, which is not the end goal of crypto. But as far as on-ramp and coming into the Web3, it's a very safe place to start because they have certain rules that they have to follow that protect the small investor, not just the big guys. And there's no shady stuff that can really happen and get too out of control, because every quarter they have to publicly post their audits to show that they have the coins that they say that they have.
Right.
Which is
one.
Nice.
Yeah. 1 for 1. If you own currency on Coinbase, they have to hold exactly the same as what you own. 98% of the customer funds are stored in offline vaults or safe deposit boxes. So cold storage, similar to what I was just talking about, but this is on a commercial level. The 2% remaining that is actually hot or in the actual Coinbase system is insured by Coinbase. So if something was to happen there. So again, really, you're trading centralization for the security, but that's a great place to start, which is why I started there and still trade there. And until I know enough, I'll continue to trade there. Now I do have money on another exchange, but we're not going to cover that one today. But this Coinbase Pro, really good place to start.
Yeah, and you'd kind of mentioned it earlier, and it's one thing to remember that there's a difference between trading and holding. Any of these you can trade, even if decentralization is your goal. You can trade on a centralized exchange move it to a wallet, and then move it wherever you want without it being tracked down from Coinbase. It's okay. I mean, at this point, it's necessary to get on some centralized exchanges and buy these coins. But just because you buy them there doesn't mean you have to hold them there. They are safer alternatives than some of the smaller exchanges that may have liquidity problems. But once you exchange it, then you can put it onto your digital wallet. And that's like going to a Bank of America. Hey, I'd just like to withdraw $1,000 from my account. And then you put it in your real wallet. So it doesn't matter if that bank gets robbed or burns to the ground. You've taken that money out just because you got it from there. You've put it in your wallet. That's safe with you in your home. You're self-custodying that cash. That's one of the benefits. Obviously, a centralized exchange at this point is a necessary evil to get most of these coins, but you can hold them in decentralized wallets.
Can and you should. Good points. Very good points. That's I'm going to stop there with Coinbase and Coinbase Pro. Check it out if you're new. I would highly recommend that. But the next one is one of your personal favorites. I like it too, but you put a lot of time and energy into this one and investing heavily. And by heavily, I mean hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
Thousands of dollars.
Really?
And it will, and as the price of their coins keeps dropping, I'm investing more and more. So what we're going to be going over is crypto.com, the crypto.com app. You're familiar with them. They're a major player. They've got, they bought the Staples Center, which is now the crypto.com arena. They do a lot of similar things as Coinbase does, but on Investopedia, it does show a little bit some of the differences. Coinbase has about 158 of the most popular coins, and Crypto.com has more than 250. So it starts to get down into some of the more rare and harder to get coins, which is pretty cool. But it also has some of the same features that Coinbase does. Coinbase does a learn to earn feature, which is where they actually teach you stuff about these cryptos. So some of these crypto companies will put some money into a pile and say, okay, if somebody comes and takes our lesson to learn what Avalanche is, we'll give them 3 or 4 free Avalanche or something along those lines. So you go and you scroll through and they do a little slideshow and they kind of teach you about this crypto. And then in exchange for learning what this crypto does, they give you a few of them and it goes straight to your Coinbase account. So crypto.com has something similar that they call missions. And so these missions, it's kind of how to learn to use the whole application. You kind of go in and they say, okay, find this. And, if you can tell us what this coin does or what this does, then they reward you with these gems and you can get these NFTs for them. And they kind of have like a learn to earn feature as well. And I really like the companies and the applications that do that because like Ryan and I talk about, we're new to it and we've been doing it for I've been doing it for a couple of years and everything's still, it's just over my head. So it's really nice to not just have an app that you can go get on there and dig through and find stuff about, but actually be rewarded for doing it. Like I remember when I first got on to crypto.com, they said, okay, you'll get this many points if you make a deposit over $25 2 times in the first 30 days, so you do that and they're like, okay, here you go. And then they said, oh, now if you go find where you can stake this, answer some questions, then they give you more points and you can add these points up and you can trade them in for NFTs or discounts off of trading fees. I really like that because it gives you an incentive to go search the app and see Coinbase as well as crypto.com. There's just so much possibilities. They're really capable of a lot more than buying and selling crypto. They're whole Web3 resource centers where you can learn about it, where you can figure stuff out, where you can invest, where you can stake, where you can make money. Both of them have the ability, for like, I think there's a Coinbase Commerce, which allows companies to accept crypto as payment. So they have a ton of stuff. And it's like most people never really dig in deep enough to figure that out. But if we're going to take the Web3 industry and the Web3 audience from a bunch of beginners to a bunch of experts, people have to start figuring this stuff out. And both of these, Crypto.com and Coinbase, are doing their part to make it so.
Yeah.
So Crypto.com, one of the reasons that I like it is because so many other people like it. And when you're looking for a centralized exchange, the more customers, the better. So this has more than 70 million customers worldwide. They did a huge ad campaign along with the World Cup. Like I said, they bought the Staples Center, or the naming rights, for the next 20 years. They are trying to solidify themselves as the front runner for the industry with a name like Crypto.com. They're nailing it. They've got their own token. It's called Kronos. It used to be called the Crypto.com coin, but that was too long to write out everywhere. So they changed it to Kronos. I think it's been as high as almost 80 cents, and now it's about 5 or 6 cents. I started buying heavily on the way down at about 30 cents. And then every time it drops significantly again, I buy some more. One of the main reasons that I like Crypto.com is they have a Crypto.com debit card, and you can fund it with fiat. You can either pay for stuff with Kronos or with fiat. And I think they use, I thought there was a number on here. Here we go. 20 different fiat currencies. So around the world, you're talking the euro, the pound, the American US dollar. I'm not sure what all else they use, but no matter what country you're in, no matter what currency you have, you can load it up on this, and you can use this debit card. It's like a prepaid debit card. You load it up, but the beauty of it is you earn crypto back. So every time you swipe it, you earn 1 or 2% back in the Kronos token. So no matter what you're spending it on, it works like a regular debit card, but it pays you back in crypto. Plus, there are some streaming services. I think, I don't want to say the wrong thing, but let's just say something like a Hulu. No, it's Spotify. I think Netflix is one if you have a high enough tier. And then like Airbnb, there's certain things that if you pay for it with your card, you get the whole thing back. So I know at certain levels, some of your streaming services, you pay $12.99 a month, and they give you $12.99 a month back in Kronos, which is pretty cool because $12.99 a month will only ever go down. But if you're getting $13 worth of Kronos token right now, by the end of 2023, that could be, 40, 50, 60 bucks, which I really like. Because I'm a gambler, I'm okay with taking that. You know what? Switch me $13 for $13 in crypto any day.
Well, you were spending the $13 anyways. I mean,
right.
So now you're getting something back.
Yeah. And that's the beauty of it. That's one of the things that Crypto.com is really working on, is using crypto. Is if you use the Kronos token, you get a discount on their trading. You get paid back in the Kronos token when you use the debit card in real world situations. It's just a very interactive application that's really trying to make day-to-day usage of crypto a thing. And then on top of that, it also offers staking. You can stake your crypto and earn money. I have some Kronos tokens. Actually, I do have some Kronos tokens that are unlocking today. When I first tried it out, I did a 6-month deal, and those are unlocking today. So today and today's payday. Perfect.
I was like, oh man, I can see shorts coming for sure today.
Yeah. So I'm going to invest a little bit more, and the money that just became unlocked, I'm going to relock it back up. It's really cool. One of my favorite things about crypto as a whole is the ability to stake it. Is the ability to take some crypto, put it away, and say, okay, I won't spend this, and I won't sell it for 3 months or 6 months. And in exchange for that, every week they give you a few more of these crypto. And then at the end of that, you can throw those crypto on top, do the compound interest, and now you're earning more and more and more. We're doing that with NextEarth, and I'm doing that to a small degree with crypto.com. But after my first test run, which ended today, I'm gonna do some more because I've been very happy with the way that it's went, and I don't think 2023 is going to be a good year to sell my Kronos tokens, so it might as well be a good year to buy my Kronos tokens.
Agreed. Yeah. Stacking.
They crypto.com also has a huge NFT marketplace, which is like every other NFT marketplace, but because you run on the Kronos network, if you're using Kronos tokens to buy and sell, the gas fees are super low. They have a ton of them. I'm not sure where they stand. I know they're not as big as OpenSea, but for a centralized American-based exchange, it is very, very thorough. You can do a lot of stuff. You can buy a lot of NFTs, and there's more projects coming on this blockchain. So,
yeah, their user numbers are growing. Their experience is growing. Their capabilities, everybody's fighting for more and more market share.
Absolutely. I was telling Ryan, the article that I was looking up about crypto.com said they had 50 million users, and the website says 70 million. So that article was a couple months old, but I assume the website has a better idea of how many people are using it. So it's growing. It's huge. It's well protected. It's well regulated here in the States, and it's trying to take over. I think I've said this before about crypto.com. It's trying to be the Bank of America of American crypto. So where you'll be able to stake it, earn interest, you'll have a debit card, you'll have fiat accounts, you'll be able to borrow against it, you'll be able to lend it out to other people, you'll be able to make money with it, you'll be able to spend and save money. They really have so many different products. Oh yeah, here we go. Can you see that? Yeah, you can.
Yep.
They have a ton of products. They do have a DeFi wallet on top of their centralized wallet. So they've got a ton of stuff that they're working on. They're really trying to be an all-in-one crypto financial institution. And while their price dipped when everything else dipped after the FTX, their CEO kept coming out and maintaining that they were solid. They have to show their financials. They have to be audited. They've never really been in any panic mode, even though a lot of people in the industry were saying that they were next. Yeah. Nothing really ever came to fruition. They're chugging right along, adding users and still sponsoring a lot of major sporting events, F1, World Cup, and I know they had some big ones on the Super Bowl also, which actually dang, we're almost to the end of the NFL season right now, so Super Bowl will be coming up. Yeah. I'm guessing there won't be as many crypto
ads. Matt Damon definitely isn't going to be making an appearance.
Yeah, that's another thing. Matt Damon is the another reason why I like this. I know we make fun of it a lot because South Park makes fun of it, but Matt Damon, as well as a bunch of other people, are sponsors for crypto.com. And so far, they haven't done an FTX and screwed over guys like Tom Brady and Shaquille O'Neal. So I think one of my favorite things about crypto.com is the name crypto.com. They got in first. They got that name. It is exactly what it says it is. It's pushing the whole industry forward. And as long as their technology keeps up, as long as they're able to play ball with the big boys, then I really like this application. And it's one that I use a lot. And it's one that today I will be putting some more money into. And that's what I got to say. So Coinbase and crypto.com, two of my favorites.
Yeah, I don't like to, this is not a great comparison, but this is how crypto.com reminds me of what Amazon was for a long time. Amazon was dumping tons of money into technology and growth. They were constantly, showing losses on their financials, and everybody kept saying they're in way over their head. They're in way over their head, and they just kept investing. And then boom, Like it exploded, and crypto.com is doing that's how I see a lot of what crypto.com is doing within the crypto industry is they're innovating, they're dumping all this money into everything. And so they're fine. And I haven't looked at their financials, but everybody keeps saying you're in too deep, you're buying arenas, like you're doing, all this stuff. And then so maybe they make it, maybe they don't, but what they're doing surely seems to be not only good for crypto.com, but good for the industry, good for their users.
That's what I was going to say. That's what the argument they keep coming back with is, with the name like crypto.com, you kind of put the whole industry on your back. Like you're kind of, if crypto.com fails, that is bad for crypto, period. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And they said they're investing so much money into stuff like stadiums and brand recognition because they recognize the importance of getting crypto out there in the mainstream. So one of the things that the CEO kept saying was, we have to hold everything one for one, like they have to show where all this money is coming from. So they showed that while they are spending a lot of money on advertising and brand recognition, they're still holding all of their customers' funds. They have everything in one for one, and it's a reasonable amount. It's just more than what most people would think. And one of the things he was explaining was, I think it was like $100 million deal with the Staples Center for the branding rights. And he said, yeah, that's true, but it's over 20 years and they don't pay it all up front. So it's only, $5 million a year, or whatever the deal is, for 20 years. And he said, and that makes it super reasonable. The cleverness of the marketing, the way they're finding ways to market and spend their advertising dollars, they're getting the most bang for their buck, is what they believe. Plus, yeah, advertising on a sports stadium, a sport that, is liked by 18 to 45-year-old males predominantly, that's really the market you're going for. So rather than put a commercial on, daytime TV or so, there's other ways they could be spending money that wouldn't get near the draw that the crypto.com arena is. Plus, if Web3 gaming, decentralized gaming, if stuff like that ever starts happening and they own the crypto.com arena, if they can start doing,
esports,
in the crypto.com, I mean, they've just really positioned themselves to be the front runner and a strong player in the industry. And with their tools, their products, their debit cards, their ability to stake, their ability to put money in there and hold on to it, know that it's safe and make money while it's in there. I love it.
Yeah. If you're going to go all in on something, Web3 and crypto seems to be the thing to go in on. Like go all out. That's what we're doing. Very good. Love crypto.com. On to the next, unless you have any final statements there, Ben.
I do not. Those are my two favorites, Coinbase and crypto.com. They are centralized, but they are safe. And right now, there are times where safety is not nearly as important to me, but with the world crumbling around, I just don't, all the coins keep dropping. My older brother texted me. He said, man, I just keep putting money in Coinbase, and every day it's just less and less and less. And it's like, that's frustrating, but as long as you're not doing it, and one day you could wake up and all of that money is gone because Coinbase folded, and what we're doing is buying assets, and sometimes it's hard to see that because people call them currencies. It sounds like you're buying currencies, which means you're trading a $1 US dollar for $1 in Ethereum, and then the price drops, and now it's worth 80 cents. To the US dollar. But what you're doing is actually buying the asset. So you're actually buying the coins, you're buying the tokens, even though they're worth less. If you don't sell them on the way down, if you're buying them on the way down, then you're not losing any money. They're just not worth as much at that time. So if you still have those amount of coins, when it does go back up, it will all pay off. And it's just the safety to know that, it's rough, and it might be rough for another year, but Coinbase is safe. If you buy a coin, put it in there, it's there. They're not taking that money and going out and doing risky bets. And maybe one day will FTX collapse. Like, your money is safe. Your crypto assets are safe.
Well,
It's
as
just
safe as they can be.
You're right. I guess none of this is financial advice, which we didn't say at the beginning. But
well,
yes.
And your major players tell you buy it and get it off of the exchange, unless you're willing to take some risk because you're staking or whatever else, which Ben does do some of, and I do also. But right now, in this moment, I'm buying it and I'm getting them off the exchange. I'm trading the security for the yield on some of this stuff at this point, just because I just don't know. But the fact is, and what you're getting at, I think, is I'm continuing to buy because I'm not interested in the currency. I'm buying the technology, and these cryptocurrencies are the monetary piece of that technology. So I don't care that it's a currency. I don't like that it's actually, the reality is I like that it's going down because every time I buy, I'm buying more for my money because I'm not worried about the value of it. I'm investing in the technology, but I'm doing the research to decide what technologies I'm interested in investing in. That's what makes me a believer. That's what allows me to buy when everybody's, screaming that it's it's a scam and whatever else. I already know where this is headed.
Right. The people who ask me about crypto and who say, oh man, it's going down, or I just lost more money, I think they think I'm just being unreasonably optimistic when I say, isn't it great? Isn't it great? I know, because it's like, oh man, what I paid, in Kronos, what I bought for $100 yesterday, I can buy for $50 today. It just keeps dropping. And it's like, but I believe that it's going to come back. And a lot of people, especially new people to the market, are like, well, when do you think that's going to be? I mean, are we talking January or February? And it's like, oh, I don't know. It might be January or February of next year or 2 years. But I know what I'm buying, especially if you're buying a deflationary coin.
They're
not making more of it.
Picks and axes.
Yeah, you're buying more, a bigger percentage of the available coins. You're getting those, and when it does go back up, it's going to be great that you bought so many when it was low. And I know that it frustrates people when I say stuff like that. I know they think that I'm in denial and that I just refuse to, actually think. But I'm like, no, I want 100 plus Solana. I want thousands of Cardano. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I want. And if the price has to drop ridiculously low for me to get it, that's fine, because what I want is the Cardano, not the necessarily get the US dollar value worth.
Right. Correct. Moving on, Binance US. Binance is the biggest by market cap. Just basically has everything, but there's a lot of back and forth with Binance and CZ and stuff like that. To me, it looks secure, but it's made a lot of people nervous just because they are so big. But so you've got Binance, you got Binance US. If you're in the US, which is what we're covering today, exchanges that you can get into in the US. And essentially, Binance US just gives, if you're a trader, I think this is where you want to be. You don't have to be here, but if you're advanced and want to have the best of everything and pay low fees, Binance US offers that for you. And I like, again, it's easier for me to compare exchanges to kind of get a grasp of what is what. So let's just jump into Binance compared to Coinbase. I think a more realistic comparison would be Binance against Coinbase Pro. For some reason, Investopedia did not have that available, which is really odd to me. These two are completely different. If you're buying in Coinbase, it's because you're brand new, you're looking to hold, you're looking for ultimate security. Binance gives you that, but it's more complicated. There's just way more tools to access. But your fees are much, much cheaper with Binance. That's a huge attraction or a huge part of the attraction. They offer a lot of tokens. They still have, equal security as Coinbase for the most part. But when it comes to the actual transaction types, there's a lot more transaction types: limit, market order, stop. A lot of these, I have no idea what they actually are because I'm not sophisticated and I don't have an account on Binance. But as I become more educated, it's one that I'm considering more and more. At minimal, I'm definitely interested in their currency, again, because of the technology and what they're doing and the overall security. Again, this is Binance, not Binance US. So I apologize. I like what Investopedia's put together here, but they didn't offer that version. So like here, it says over 600 cryptocurrencies. That's not the case for Binance US. It's quite a bit less. But again, still, all of these exchanges, unless you're like really deep into the weeds, they're going to have more than enough currencies for you to dabble in, especially the most secure ones. If you really want to get into some crazy stuff, then you're probably not watching this channel or not watching our episode here anyways, because this is on the base level. This is for us blue collar that are just getting into this stuff. But it is being in US, based in San Francisco, it is regulated. They do have to report, just like Coinbase and some of these others. They do have the same, where 98% of their funds are held in cold storage. 2% is on the market, but is available. So if you have assets within Binance US, it is protected. Again, some of the biggest, two of the biggest reasons to consider Binance, period, is the cheap fees and also the availability of charting and analytics and stuff like that. Another benefit to Binance is if you own actual BNB tokens, you get and you use that currency, their BNB token, to pay for fees, you get an additional 25% discount on those fees. So you can really knock down the cost to do trading, which really is only going to matter if you're trading consistently. If you're not trading a whole lot, simplicity becomes more important than I think the actual fees, as far as I'm concerned, which is why I'm still with Coinbase Pro. I'm comfortable there. It's easy to use. I can get in there and make the transactions. I don't do a lot of transactions, so I'm willing to pay a higher fee than, say, Binance. Now, as I grow, that may change over time. But again, what you need to take away from this is the security is equal to Coinbase. It's just there's more to it. So you want to have a little bit better idea of what you're doing in there. They do offer an API ability, which means if you're doing some bot trading and stuff like that, Binance allows you to get in there and do that. Here's that 25% discount for owning the BNB token, like we spoke about. Let's scroll on down here some more. They've got the Binance Academy, which I really, really like. Let me toggle through here. Here's Binance. Here's an idea. I'm not logged in because I don't have an account, but here's an idea of some of the graphs and detail. It's very similar to a lot of the others, but you can get in there and add more charting to it to actually get into it even deeper if that's your thing. Again, if you are interested in that, you probably already know these things. Binance US, the investment rating, pretty good rating here. So I was headed. Oh, there we go. Okay. So they have this blockchain or Binance Academy, which I really just like the setup on this. And it's got here's some of these courses. It tells you roughly how long the course takes. That's kind of just a nice added benefit, especially in this day and age. You just kind of want to know how much time you're going to be spending in these. Something you don't necessarily think about, but I really like how they've set up their actual academy to go in here, learn and earn, kind of like you mentioned earlier, just like Coinbase has, like crypto.com has, Binance has their version of it. So that's pretty cool.
That's nice. I didn't realize that that Binance had Binance Academy. I do like that because I think that's so important. Like we've talked about, especially getting people familiar with the industry and really teaching people what's going on for these companies, rather than just taking your money and saying, well, you should have known better. I love that they're actually giving some of that money back to teach people. I mean, there's no other point of doing it except for to teach people, to give them a better understanding of the market that everybody wants to participate in. And that looks actually real well laid out. I like the courses. That's really cool.
I've heard several industry experts, if you can call them experts, they'll recommend Binance.com. So Binance Academy. Like I've heard it come up numerous times. So I think it's a fan favorite from a lot of the more sophisticated and advanced traders when they're talking to younger or newer traders getting into it, is they'll recommend Binance Academy. So I think I like it the best. I haven't spent time on Coinbase's version, even though I'm in Coinbase or crypto.com. So I can't give a good comparison, but I think it's easy to use and it's detailed. It's short for a lot of this. So I highly recommend it. As far as security, I'm popping around a little bit here, but Binance has this secure asset fund, SAFU, which they had a hack that's a while back, but under investigation. But this fund helped repay some of those funds of that 2% that was taken. And so this is kind of a cool fund that Binance actually set up. And I think it's comparable to the insurance that Coinbase offers, but they have this actual fund with over $1 billion US invested in this fund specifically for traders who lose money from, something that goes wrong on Binance. If someone actually gets into Binance, now, if you do something idiotic yourself, then you're responsible. But if you're trading on Binance and something happens, they've got this SAFU fund that has actually been utilized for a previous hack. So I thought that was again, it's just, just like the Academy, it's just showing that they care about their users and they're wanting to protect them and advance them. So let me look at my notes here real quick. Yeah. So, that's Binance.com, the largest by market cap. They've gained a lot of market share. They've been in the news a lot with the FTX and so forth. Take it how you want. It's kind of been some controversy, but anytime you've got big news, there's lots of people who see an opportunity to make waves, whether it's good or bad. And as we know, news usually does a lot better with bad, but I think Binance is a very good option if you're getting into crypto and you're thinking you're going to really get into the trading side. Yeah, I think you've got to consider Binance and all the tools and stuff they offer. Anything you want to add to Binance?
It is the biggest in the world as far as volume traded and the amount that they have in reserves. So that's, again, really good. I know FTX was number 2, so it's strange that one was the one that went down. But basically, by the time we pull out of this bear market, it's not a bull market. By the time we get out of this bear market, any of the exchanges that have survived are going to have a relative
Street
good
cred.
idea for they're going to have their safety measures in place. If they haven't there's a lot of ones that haven't done anything malicious that are still on the edge of bankruptcy or have already gone under. They're not doing anything wrong. It's just the market is so far down, they're not making any money. They have to close up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So any of these exchanges that are just chugging right along at the current time and not, on the edge of death, they're doing something right. And if they pull out of this bear market and they continue on, those are the ones that you want to be investing in the bull market, because when things turn, they're the ones that are going to make it. They're the ones that did make it. So when the bull market comes around and all these new exchanges and these places where you can buy Bitcoin and crypto start popping up, which they will, remember which ones were there and surviving at the bottom of the long bear market, the long crypto winter, the ones right now that are still innovating and still doing learn to earn and still doing things for their customers and still growing. Those are the ones you're going to want to be investing in when the market turns around, because they're the safest and they're the ones that are putting customer safety first.
Amen. That's all I've got on Binance.
All right. So Coinbase, Binance, and crypto.com, those are 3 of the biggest and the best and the safest crypto companies that you can buy and sell crypto in. But there are a couple of options that you may already be involved in that you didn't know you have the ability to buy some cryptos with. one of them is like Robinhood. Well, I'll just give all three of them that I've got listed out: Robinhood, VenMo, and CashApp. So these are apps that everybody has on their phone. Not everybody, but a good deal of Americans have on their phone for just paying, buying movie tickets from your friend or splitting a cab ride. Venmo and CashApp, especially, a ton of people have those. Robinhood, a lot of people use that to buy stocks. Now, I feel like I'm just fucking this up. Sorry, Ryan.
No, you're actually not at all. I think you're right on point with everything.
Okay.
I think your head's clogged, but yeah, no, you're doing what it's good.
All right. Starting with Robinhood. So Robinhood, people used it to buy stocks. Now they've sort of fallen out of favor after the GameStop and ANC debacles, where they were like stopping trades and not letting people buy or sell GameStops when they were in the short squeeze. So they've sort of lost some of the appeal of the crypto market, but there is the ability to buy crypto on there. One of the things, they're working on an actual decentralized crypto wallet for Robinhood right now, but all of these are, I don't know how to say it. You're not actually holding the Bitcoin. You're holding
share up.
Yeah, basically like a paper. Basically, the company is holding the crypto, and then it says you own this. So not your keys, not your coins.
Right.
All of these have a relative chance of.
Yeah, it reminds me of like if you buy gold or silver, a lot of those companies, you don't get the actual gold or silver.
Right.
They send you a certificate and it's like, this shows you have ownership, which has been fine for a long time, but when the shit hits the fan,
right,
you might as well have a certificate to the star named after you, as far as I'm concerned.
And in crypto, what we're getting at is true ownership and you owning your money. And so these are ways to kind of get in and start investing and kind of seeing what the market does, but it's not a good way to own your Bitcoin. If Robinhood, which is a publicly traded company, goes out of business, there's a chance you could not ever see that Bitcoin again. If you buy a Bitcoin on crypto.com and you send it to your decentralized wallet, it doesn't matter what happens to crypto.com, you own that Bitcoin. But these, you're basically owning a certificate that says that you have this many Bitcoin, which isn't bad, especially for starters. That's basically the way the whole stock market works. That's basically the way everything works. So it's not like it's some weird way to do business. It's just what we're trying to get away from with the Web3 industry. But Robinhood, I've got a list here of the coins that they have. So all of these are pretty limited. Robinhood is the least limited, but they've got like Ethereum Classic, Bitcoin Cash, Solana, Dogecoin, Polygon, Shiba Inu, Litecoin, Chainlink, and Compound. Those are the options that you have to buy on Robinhood, which is a pretty good spread. I mean, it's not just Bitcoin, it's not just Ethereum. It's a pretty good amount of some of the smaller coins, some of the popular coins. Robinhood is definitely it's the social media app for investing. So it follows the trends. That's why it has Shiba Inu and Dogecoin and Solana. The stuff that's exciting and that's popular, that's what you can invest in Robinhood. And the Robinhood app is the best, most customer-friendly app that I've used for any sort of a stock or investing. It really is easy. I'm a little jaded on Robinhood because of the issues I had with the GameStop squeeze.
Sure.
But for somebody just getting started, I actually still keep Robinhood on my phone, but I use it because the app is so easy to track prices and to see what's going. Their user interface is amazing. It's the behind the scenes stuff that frustrated me. But for users who are just getting started in crypto, people who probably already have Robinhood, it's very easy to go in there. You can buy these coins, you can track them, you can sell them, you can do all that stuff. It is centralized publicly traded company. So it does keep track of all the stuff you buy and sell. And at the end of the year, there is a list that they will send to you that you need to pay taxes on. So it's a little different than some of the decentralized exchanges, but that's stuff you should be doing anyway. But it's just a very centralized way to dip your toes into the crypto market. And like I said, with 10 or 15 coins available, it gives you a good spread of ones you want to do. I know Robinhood was one of the main factors that they said that Dogecoin did what it did when it first started running up. When Dogecoin went crazy, it was a big factor was because Robinhood put it on there because it was getting so much attention. And that really took it to the next level because all the kids who were investing in the stock market and the stock market started to slow, they were looking for the next big rocket to invest in, and they all started investing in Dogecoin. And Robinhood makes it so easy. You can from a bank account or a credit card or whatever, real quickly buy some crypto. I was buying it on there back in 2020, 2021, and it really is easy. It's a really great app for buying anything, stocks or crypto. So
what I'm hearing from you is if you're already using Robinhood, then this might be your entry. If you're not, maybe not. Maybe
that's probably the best way to put it.
It kind of it actually reminds me of what I tell people with real estate that are using Zillow. I'm like, if you want to use Zillow for the tools and you're already using it, go ahead, but make sure you reference it against realtor.com that's actually actually pulls from the source. That's what it kind of reminds me. If you like using their interface and stuff like that, that's cool, but it's maybe not the best tool for ownership.
Yeah, there are definitely better ways to buy crypto, but if you've already got Robinhood, poke around in the crypto app and maybe get a little bit of Dogecoin, get a little bit of Bitcoin, and just kind of use it to track the market. And like I said, I still have Robinhood on my phone, even though I don't invest in it, because it's so easy to just log in and just real quickly see what's up, what's down. Their user interface is the best that I've seen. So I really enjoy it with that sense. Two other options that you can use. Again, VenMo, a lot of people use that for peer-to-peer payments, and CashApp, same thing. CashApp, I think you can only buy Bitcoin, which is really probably the safest app you could have to buy Bitcoin then, because it doesn't give you the option for all the other altcoins. It is just Bitcoin. And I bought some yesterday just to make sure that it worked. It goes smoothly. And then you can send that Bitcoin to a wallet. So I don't think you actually own it in CashApp, but you can send it to a wallet and they will send from wherever it's going to there. And you can send Bitcoin to a specific wallet address or an email or a phone number, and then they'll send it to them. And then that person will be able to show if I want to send some to Ryan and I don't know his Bitcoin wallet address, I can just send it to his phone. Cash App will notify him, and then he'll be able to put in his wallet information and they'll deposit in there. So it really makes it pretty easy to do peer-to-peer Bitcoin payments, which is cool. And VenMo has the ability to buy Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, and Litecoin. Litecoin's been around for forever. I do have some of that in VenMo, some that I had actually forgot that I bought in VenMo. I won some, I think it was Super Bowl bets several years ago, and I bought it and I turned that into Litecoin. And so that's what I've got in VenMo. But you've got the four options: Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, and Litecoin, which are all good choices. Pretty limited on your options, but again, it's really a peer-to-peer payment service, but it gives you the option to turn that into it. Again, it's like Robinhood. You've got to sell out into fiat before you can take it out. I don't think you can really move it around to other wallets. You can't decentralize it. It's basically a certificate saying that you own it. But another good way, depending on which one of those you use, I have VenMo and Cash App, and I feel like I assume most people do, but maybe they only have one or the other. So whichever one that you have gives you the option to dabble in crypto. So not as good, not as thorough or complete as the first three, Coinbase, Crypto.com, and Binance, but definitely some of apps you probably already have on your phone. And if you do, maybe throw some money towards Bitcoin or Ethereum and just let it sit in there.
Or throw a few our way. I mean,
yeah, let's not get caught up over semantics, you know.
You got it. Good job.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, some easy entries.
Yeah, and which again, as these companies grow, they might make decentralized wallets. They might get more advanced in it, but right now the name of the game is growing and onboarding new customers. Without new customers, there's no point in growing all these companies. So they're just dipping their toes in it. If 1 billion people used Venmo to buy Bitcoin, I bet they'd come up with a lot more services towards Bitcoin customers. So they're all just kind of dipping their toes in and seeing what's getting some excitement, what's bringing people onto their app. So yeah.
Pretty good sign for a down market.
Right. Exactly. Wait until the market turns around and we're doing a bull run and Bitcoin gets over 100,000, and then watch CashApp and Venmo. They'll be doing decentralized wallets and staking and all sorts of stuff. So
good stuff. All right, man. I don't have any closing thoughts. I think these are all good options to explore. And we're using some or multiple of them.
Yeah, I think if I was going to tell my mom, if somebody asked me, my mom or somebody who is new to the whole situation, which one should I start with? I would probably say Coinbase. Coinbase is the most simple, the easiest, and the safest for new people in my experience. Coinbase is what I would start with, and then you can start branching out, maybe to Coinbase Pro, and then maybe to something like a Binance. Yeah. But if I had to pick one to tell, our target audience, I would say Coinbase.
If you had to pick one to tell a person that you're going to be seeing it every year at the holidays.
Exactly. Coinbase is a pretty safe bet.
All right, man. Do we want to announce our next episode, or do we hold that close to the chest for the moment?
We can, yeah. Let them know. It'll be the first of the year now. So tell them what we got.
Well, I was hoping you remembered because.
Okay, I do remember. It's the copper scale. We're the MetaMentors are releasing our copper scale, which is quality of project ranking, QOPR. We're going to start ranking some of these projects with I think we decided on a 1 to 100 grade, and based on stuff like the team, the marketing, their interaction with their community, their market cap. We got all these factors that we're going to start putting into work. We're building this copper scale, so we'll be able to say, if you're interested in investing in this metaverse project, let's say Wilder World, after we did all of our research, after we put everything together, we're giving it a 58 out of 100 on the copper scale. That's a 58 on the quality of project ranking. So we'll be able to quickly start building a table of like our top 10 projects based on the copper scale, and that will be fluid. It'll move as they release new products, and as news hits, we'll be able to kind of move these and keep our top 10 projects that, as far as investing goes, that's what we're doing this copper scale for. We've been talking about almost 40 different projects now over the last year, different metaverse projects, but it's hard to judge an NFT project against a metaverse project against a solely crypto coin or an exchange. So we're going to start putting them all on to the copper scale and ranking their quality of the project. And we're going to have a top 10. So if you want to get in and follow along with the stuff that we're investing in, the quality of project ranking scale will be what we're using. And we're going to introduce that next episode, go over what we're planning on doing. And then we're going to use that in all of our subsequent episodes when we're talking about specific projects. Each one will receive a copper ranking.
It's going to be awesome. I'm excited. It's going to help clear up a lot of things.
Yeah. Really start lining it up, because like I said, how do you compare Wild the World to Blocktopia right now? I wouldn't even know. If you had to invest in one, I wouldn't have any idea which one we should do.
Yeah.
But we're going to start clarifying that.
Good episode, Ben. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you next week.